Hey everyone, it's Angie. Today we have a box with a surprise inside, and it's only because I've never done one this way before, and it is so cute. I love it. But it is a book box, so that's what I call it. I don't know if there is a proper name for this. I usually do the inside open, but I'm going to show you how I did the inside this time. So I hope you like this one. It says from our house to yours, and of course, you know, I'm obsessed with pines and pine cones, but I am using a different bundle this time. I'm using the branching up dies for this one. And I put this on here to look kind of like a little bookmark. But yeah, it opens. I'm going to change the way I did this opening a little bit, but I'll show you all that. I did use a slit from my hole punch assortment, but this time I'm going to use the 1/8 inch hole punch. It's a little bit hard to tie with these little slits in it, so I decided to just do the punch. So I'll show you that when we get to it. So it opens like this, but look at the inside. This is usually wide open and you just put your treats in there and close it, but I had to make a lid for it because I thought, how cute would that be if you want to put a sentiment here or a sentiment on here, and then you just hold it open and there's the inside. Isn't that cute? I hope you like this because I really like this one. I like the way it opens. I love the inside, the surprise inside. So yeah, and just stick your treats. You can put a small gift in this. This one's really cute for a small gift, but like a necklace, jewelry of any kind, anything like that. So yeah, this is what I'm sharing today. How cute is that? I love this paper. I'm using 2 different designer series paper packs today because this one I used the North Pole delivery. I love the houses on here. I thought it was so cute for a little book. So this is the one I used on here. And then I used this for the book binding on the side and for the inside. So this is the one I used for this one if you like that one. And then we're going to use the Traditions of Christmas. Y'all, the 17th, you're going to be able to get, so it's just a couple days. By the time you see this, it'll be back in stock. So October 17th, it's supposed to be back in stock. And this is the Traditions of Christmas. This is gorgeous paper. We're going to use this one this time because I thought, let's make it a little elegant. And I'm going to use this polka dotted one for the side. But I think it'd be so cute with a sentiment or a little, you can even put a little picture of something on the inside. It's just so sweet. All right, let's get started with this. So this might be a little longer because it's a little more details in it. But we're going to go ahead and get started with it. So I am using Old Olive this time. Let me show you the stamp sets first. So all the measurements and the supplies needed are always on my blog at stampingwithamore.com, along with an inspiration sheet that you can download and print. So we are using the branching out, but I'm not using, this comes in a bundle, but I'm not using the stamp set. I'm just using the dies. So I'm using this branching out dies. And y'all, if you want this bundle, look how gorgeous these dies are. I have plans for these bigger dies here. But look how beautiful those are, and they're all stitched. This is what I used, the pine and the pine cone fronds. So these other 2 I used, and then I'm using the nested essential for the sentiment. But you can always cut that out by hand. So this is the one that I'm using here. And then I'm using for the sentiment from Our House to Yours, the pine trees trimmings. You can use whatever sentiments you have. Every one of our stamp set has some really great sentiments. All right, so let's get started with this. This is going to be the inside of our box. It's 7 3/4 by 5 1/2. Then the outside piece is 7 by 4. And the 2 pieces that we're going to use for the little latches on here is 3 3/4 by 1. You need 2 of them. And then to mat the front, you're going to need one that's 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. And then I matted the inside front, and this is also 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. And then this piece here is for the little opening closure, the surprise part of the box. And this is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. This is for the binding on the outside. It's 7/8 by 3 7/8. And this is for the outside banner. And this one is 3 1/4 by 3/4. And then this is going to be our basic white cardstock, which I'm using thick. I use thick for everything. And we are going to use the Nested Essentials dies to cut it out. All right, let's go ahead and stamp this. I think I'm going to stamp it in Old Olive this time, just to go with everything. I don't know, should I do it in Old Olive or should I do it in one of the darker colors? I'm thinking that maybe this is the designer series paper that we're using. So I would love to do it in gold, but we're not going to do it in gold because that would be embossing. So let's go ahead and let's go with the Old Olive. So I'm going to just use Old Olive for this part. My brain just keeps going, y'all. What should I use for this? What should I should I change it? My mind is always like going a mile a minute. My original idea was Old Olive, and look at, I'm back at the Old Olive. All right. So we're going to use this right here, and I'm going to run that through the cut and emboss, and I'll be right back with that. All right, so there we have that. That's all ready to go. Let's go ahead and score our pieces here. Let's do the Old Olive first. We don't have to score anything but these Old Olive pieces. So let me get my Simply Scored here. And let's score the inside box first. So on the 7 3/4 inch side, you're going to score it. Oh, let me grab, because I forget to do this beforehand, so I'm using my wax paper. But somebody always says, thanks for the wax paper tip, because it really is a game changer. All right, so on the 7 3/4, you're going to score it at 1, 3 7/8, and 4 7/8. And then you're going to turn it, and you're going to score it at 1 and 4 1/2, or 1 on each side. All right, now this is going to be on the 7-inch side, and we are going to do it at 3 and 4. And that's it for that one. Now on these little pieces, you're only going to score these at 1 inch. These are the closure ones that we're going to use. All right, let's grab our pieces here, and we'll sharpen these score marks. This is going to be the top of our box, the outside piece, and then this one is the inside piece. I'll go ahead and sharpen these before I cut them. All right, so on these, you are going to cut here. And then you're going to cut down on these sides. This is really an easy box. And then you are also on this side, you're going to cut into these, because this is going to be that flap that folds into your box. Do the same on this one. And then this one too. Just like you did on the opposite side, it's the exact same thing. Alright, that's what it's going to look like. So now we're ready to put this one together. I'm going to use wet glue, y'all. My glue is not cooperating. My glue is not cooperating today. So we are using wet glue. And don't attach it to this one that you cut into. You want to attach it to this bottom part. So let's do this one first. I think it's easier just to get this. And you know, if you're using wet glue, you just have to be patient with it for just a minute. It takes a minute for it to get sticky without it moving and all that. And I love wet glue, but that's the only thing that bugs me about it. All right, and then this one, I'll push that one back to make this one easier. This is really an easy box, y'all. I mean, it looks like it's detailed. Well, we have a lot of little things on it, but it's really easy to make. All right, so then this piece just will fold in here like that. And it took me forever to get it exactly right here, but it worked out just fine. So we are going to go ahead and I'm going to, whoops, that's the wrong one. I'm going to mat this first on here. So let's just use, again, our wet glue. This is so pretty too. You can even use this side of it if you want. I just wanted it to coordinate with the other box where it's got the polka dot or the dotted side, and I just like it a little bit different. It might be too much with all the flowers. All right, now I'm going to use my 1-inch circle punch. I did link one of these in the description because we don't have this 1-inch one anymore. And it just makes it super easy to lift this part where your goodies are going to be. Now remember, when you put this on, it's going to go this way. So this opens this way. All right, but we have to put on our little tabs first. And I'm going to do the top one first. And what I'm going to do is I am just, and use wet glue for this because this is easy, so easier for you to line up. So I'm just going to look at here and line that up, your score mark right to the edge there. Make sure it's nice and straight and kind of in, well, almost exactly in the middle if you can get it that way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my little 1/8-inch circle punch, and I'm going to punch 2 holes. And you know what? I'm going to mark them because this will make it easier. So I'm going to mark them here, and then I could see where my little marks are. And I did round the corners of these. Probably should have done that before I put it on here. Would have been easier. Do the same with this one. And on this one, you want to line this one up with that here. So I'm going to go ahead and use some wet glue here. And line it up. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you want it pretty close. And line that up with the edge as well. And then this is going to go on top here. And then this will close. And you want this one to go down on like that. But I want to make sure this is nice and square. So put that in so you can see that your box is where you want it to be. And then, I'll move that down a little bit. And then I'm going to mark this one. And then we're going to punch these. Okay, now we're going to glue this one to the bottom. And again, I'm using wet glue. I like this so I can move it around exactly where I want it to be. And it just makes things easier. So I'm going to put that one on here. And you're going to line this up again and make sure that you're lining this up so that it closes right. And your holes will meet. So that's where mine's gonna land. And then I'm gonna lift that, and of course I love this for this. You're gonna use it, this flat edge. I have this linked in the description. I know a lot of you have gotten it. It is such a good bone folder. It took me a long time to get in the game with that one. All right, let's go ahead and mat the top. So this is gonna be our top piece right here. And I'm going to use a different ribbon too. I used that red shimmer ribbon on the other one. I love that ribbon. But I'm going to go ahead, I wanted to use gold because there's this gold in here. So I'm going to use this gold trim. It comes with the silver and gold, but we're going to use the gold trim. And we are going to first put it through this one here. I think this is going to make it easier to open and close. You can leave this off completely and just do a belly band, but I'm not crazy about belly bands. I will do them every once in a while if I don't have a choice in how to close it, but yeah, I'm not crazy about belly bands. Oh y'all, I already did that wrong. It's got to come from the bottom. It's got to come the other way, this way. So it's got to go from the inside out. And then we're going to put it through this one. This is definitely going to make it easier. It was a little harder to do that with a little slat that I put in, but I thought it was cute, but yeah, this is much better in tying these off. I shouldn't have cut so much of this, but this is so pretty, this gold trim. And we're going to cut that extra off. I'm going to save that one piece though, because golly, this is big enough to use behind a sentiment or something. All right, I love that with the gold. Isn't that pretty? It makes it more elegant. All right, so we didn't do the inside piece, which I totally forgot. So let's open this back up. Y'all were probably yelling at me, don't forget the inside piece, but we only have to take it off this one side. And I'm only matting it because I don't like the look of this just being there. So we're going to do it this. I actually think this would be a little bit much, but on the inside, but y'all do what you like. This would be such a good place for a sentiment, and even on here. But this is a little bit bigger. You can put a nice big Merry Christmas or something like that. All right, so we're going to do this again. And of course, I liked my first bow better, but we're going with this one for now. But I do love the gold on this. It's so pretty. All right, so this is for our side, our binding part in the back here. I think it's a cute accent with this front. If you want to mat the back, you can, but I didn't think it was necessary to mat the back. But look how cute that is on the side. All right, this is going to be bannered, because this is the piece going underneath our sentiment. And I'll grab the sentiment. Let's go ahead and put this on. Oh, I love this paper. Golly, I don't know. I may like this one better because I love the gold and the gold on here. Y'all have to tell me which one you like better. but I think this is gorgeous paper. And I haven't really used this side much. I've been doing a lot. You can even leave it just like that, y'all, but you know I have to be extra. And I have to add my pine and my pine cones, which I'm going to actually grab my little, I'm going to grab some pecan pie, and I'm going to grab my little sponge dauber here, and I like to do this on these little pine cones. It just really makes them stand out a little bit more. Just adding a little bit to these pine cones. And this is the pecan pie. But it really, and I think I'm going to put some old olive on these too. I didn't grab another sponge dauber because I didn't plan on doing that. But let me grab one of my little, okay, we're going to use a little, just to make it stand out. This has a little bit of darker green on it. So I think it'll be pretty. Adding a little bit of that darker. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, that would be beautiful on a card. Just using the as a background. Wouldn't that be pretty as a background? Using this as like a stencil. See how my mind doesn't stop, y'all? Sometimes it's so annoying. Alright, so we're going to cut these apart here. And I'm going to use my wet glue. I think this is so pretty. I hope you like this. Y'all, I'm always like trying to guess whether y'all will like something or not. Y'all are the sweetest, always. I really appreciate everybody. You're also always so sweet. I swear I have the best community because I hear so many people complain about how nasty people can be. And it's so discouraging, you know, because they don't realize how much work goes into something. It's discouraging for someone to say nasty things. Alright, so let's use some dimensionals here. Let me put that back in its... I'm just going to cut up these tiny edges. And we're going to put dimensionals and pop up these. So yeah, I thank you all for being so kind and so sweet all the time. I just heard one of my friends say that on her channel, and I was like, gosh, that's so sad. Someone that I follow here. Alright, we're going to just put one here. And then another one. I love this one, y'all. See how when I do a different thing, sometimes it turns out nicer. I don't know. I love this one. I don't know. What do you think? Y'all, it could be for two different things. This could be for more like a young adult or something, and this could be more mature. Or I don't know. I just love the gold ribbon on this and the gold, and I just love this paper though. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. If you need any supplies, you can shop on my blog at stampingwithamore.com. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later, everyone. Bye.